The other thing we have to look at is after 3 or 4 days,
Good morning, 6:03. It's Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. That KEEL app is always a free download from Office Furniture Source. Down the other end of the gopher-shaped broadcast table, boy, is there local news today.
A team from Louisiana is helping in Florida. We'll have the latest on that. A shooting in the Broadmoor community. At least 2 people are wounded. We'll talk more about that. And the BEA in South Bossier.
Yeah, we definitely have to talk about that Broadmoor thing. And if you looked on social media, there were about 1,000 eyewitnesses. Were there any really? We'll find out. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
Hour of information. KEEL News now.
Tropical Storm Michael continues to weaken over eastern Georgia as it makes its way toward the Carolinas. Now, a team of Louisiana first responders is in the region in Florida. State Fire Marshal Butch Browning tells us what the teams are doing.
we'll bring about 24 boats and specialty boats to be able to do both swift water, which is fast-moving water, and what we call fast-moving, which is basically water with a current. So I'm telling you, it's going to be a challenging response, and a lot of preparation has gone into making sure when we get these calls, we can do it.
Browning tells us nearly 100 folks from our state headed for that region. Today's nice, cool weather may be here to stay for another week. That's according to climatologist Barry Keim. The cold front has settled in, bringing with it temps as low as 50s this morning across the north part of the state. Keim says unlike previous glimpses at fall weather in past weeks, this might be the real deal.
Really is the first significant cold front which crossed the state yesterday, and it's ushering in the first taste of significant fall weather for the state. And the beauty of it is that this cool weather is really going to persist.
He says tomorrow will be even cooler. We'll be dipping into the 50s across much of the northern part of the state. 2 people wounded in a shootout in Shreveport. Matt Parker with that.
2 men were wounded in a shootout Wednesday afternoon. The incident happened around 2 p.m. on Southfield near River Road. According to investigators, 2 groups of men were arguing with each other before shots rang out. At least one of the 2 victims suffered life-threatening injuries in the incident. Police are still searching for the other men involved in the shootout. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Department of Health announces that water samples taken from Bossier City have tested positive for brain-eating amoeba. Several samples taken from the southern part of Bossier tested positive. This comes one day after the city announced it was conducting a chlorine flush of its water distribution system. The flush is already underway and is expected to take 60 days. Meantime, health officials have ordered Benton's Water District to conduct a chlorine burn of its system. The order is a precautionary measure after the discovery of brain-eating amoeba in Bossier. After being closed last year, Cyport will be reopening next week. The Children's Education Center will reopen October 18th with new exhibits and features to explore. Red River STEM took over management of the facility back in June and is working to regain the trust of the community. Shreveport police investigating what's being described as a rolling gun battle. According to officers, the shootout started on West 73rd and ended on Pine Tree Drive. Police say two groups of people in separate cars were firing shots at each other. Two men have been arrested for their part in the incident. At least one other man is on the run. Blood at the scene leads police to believe that person was wounded in the violent encounter. America's retailers and shipping companies are looking forward to a robust holiday shopping season. There's just one problem. Who will stock the shelves, pack the orders, and ring up customers? The U.S. job market is the tightest it's been in 5 decades. A local boy will be on America's Funniest Videos Sunday night. Wyatt describes what he did to get armpit hair just like Dad.
I cut my hair and I got glue and I put it right here, and then I got the hair from the ground and I put it on. Also, wait, look.
Wyatt, listen to me. Don't you ever, seriously, don't ever cut your hair again.
Now, Wyatt and his family didn't win the big money, but they will be having a watch party with family and friends to enjoy Sunday night's show. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 6 o'clock, it's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's traffic.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Wow, long pants.
It's in the
101.7
50s.
What now?
It's in the 50s.
Yeah, 57. I'm wearing long pants today.
I know.
If the Attorney General of the state of Louisiana were here, if the state trend, they would all be making fun of
They
you.
would be making fun of you.
101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so what happened? It was at the corner of yesterday afternoon, literally at like 2 o'clock straight up, I guess.
Southfield River Road, right there in the
Okay, hold on a second. Go slow because you know I can't do traffic. Okay.
Southfield River Road.
Because East Kings, there's the Albertsons, there's the dog grooming place, about a half a block away from Vitamins Plus, all that kind of
Drug
stuff.
Emporium, yeah.
Yep. And it's right there at, okay, so Southfield at East Kings is the corner. So you're going about
another block east.
A block east of that.
It's in the Captain Shreve neighborhood. People are saying Broadmoor, but that's Captain Shreve.
Well, as you go down that street, as you go farther down Southfield, there's a sign there that says South Broadmoor. So literally, that's what the big, it's a 100-year-old sign.
Yeah.
But it says South Broadmoor. So just about the first corner, the first street you come to is River Road, and that's where it happened.
That's where it happened.
Tell me what happened.
Apparently, two men got into some sort of shootout. They've been arguing with each other, and then both pulled out guns.
Where did what I read last evening was, and you can sort of fill in what happened. They were there at the corner. First of all, how did these guys, how many were there total in how many vehicles?
Apparently, there were two groups of men. I don't know how many total. I know we have 2 victims, 2 people wounded.
So how many cars were there? And I guess they were following each other, chasing each other.
That could be it. I don't know that there was. We don't want to mix up the 2 shootings because one shooting was a rolling shooting.
No, first of all, therein lies the problem.
Right.
Because Erin walks into the room and Matt and I were talking about the Broadmoor shooting, the one that's the one at River Road.
Yeah, I don't know that there were cars involved in that one.
And Erin says, no, you guys are, the fact that there were 2 last night. Okay, you help me out.
Yes. All right, so this one was 2 groups of people on the corner. I guess they got in some sort of verbal dispute.
Were they on foot or were they vehicular?
There's no mention of cars in this one.
They were on foot initially. They fled to cars, and then the cops couldn't track them down.
Yeah.
I don't think this one, there were shots fired from the vehicles. They just used vehicles to get away from the scene of the crime. Except for
how many people were involved in this shooting? Because what I read last night was that it was a bunch of guys got into a fight. First, it was a fist fight. Then they pulled guns and were hitting each other with their weapons.
It was 2 groups of men. I don't know the total number of men.
And then gunshots began.
2 men were wounded.
And that when the cops showed up, there were 2. Nobody was there except 2 guys lying shot in the street.
Right. They're searching for all the folks who were involved. Usually that's a real quiet neighborhood. I'm on the board of that neighborhood association right there.
Yeah.
And usually it's real quiet.
Well, yeah, it's River Road, for God's sake.
Yeah, and
how many people do we know who live on River Road, and they're not poor people?
No, exactly. There's some great, beautiful homes in there. It's a wonderful neighborhood. This could have spilled over from other areas. There's a lot of people talking about it may have spilled over from the Cornerstone apartment complex, which is right next to Albertsons.
The one behind Albertsons that changes, seems to change names every 6 weeks.
Yes, it absolutely does. But we don't have any evidence of that. I do know from folks who called me that there were police throughout that apartment complex, after the shooting, apparently hunting for somebody.
Did I see last night that it was the Kelly Abbott inspired quick clot that saved the lives of one of the guys that was shot?
It absolutely may have. Yeah, absolutely. We still have one of the victims has suffered a life-threatening wound, but is at Ochsner and being treated. The other is expected to make a full recovery. So
okay, so that's where we are with
2 o'clock in the afternoon. Man.
Shooting number 1.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you got nowhere else to go, you know what I mean?
Right.
So shooting number 2.
This is in the Cedar Grove area, West 73rd. It ended up on Pine Tree Drive. It's described by police as a rolling gun battle. So 2 different groups of men in 2 different cars.
You said Pine Tree Drive. What is the main thoroughfare?
73rd, West 73rd, in that area. I think it's not too far off Line Avenue.
Okay.
2 groups of men, or people, they're not even saying men, were in separate cars and began firing shots at each other. They have arrested 2 men for their part.
Do you know, pardon me, east or west of Line Avenue? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. We'll have to look it up.
Right.
One other man is on the run. Now, they did find blood at the scene, which led them to believe that at least one person was wounded. But they're checking hospitals and all that to find out, did a victim show up with a gunshot wound? But again, imagine in your neighborhood, 2 cars driving side by side, and then they open fire on each other.
You know what? Yesterday morning at this time, yesterday morning at 10, yesterday at noon, those folks on River Road would have said, can you imagine this happening? And they would have said no.
Exactly.
And it did.
Exactly. And it blew up social media. I mean, it was everywhere. I saw it from so many people. And everybody was speculating about where it started, what was the reason, what were they doing? You never know. You just never know.
Do you think this changes any votes? Do you think this, I hate to go political on you, and I hate to bring that into it, but of all the candidates we've spoken to, crime, violence, save for Stephen Jackson, who said it's economic, and I think, Stephen, if you were here, he would say those two are intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think anybody's thinking of changing their mind? Do you think of anybody when you look at that mayoral poll from the weekend, Ollie Tyler, 27%, or a lot of people look at it, and you know what? I can sit here and make the other argument. It's not the mayor's fault.
No, it's
not. The mayor's fault as people shoot each other.
Hey, of course there are people thinking of I'm thinking every morning, every time I change my socks, of changing my vote. So I don't know. I'm at a toss-up right now.
But the question is and we can talk about this off and on through the morning. And somebody said this to me yesterday, and I was thinking about say it, don't say it, say it, don't say it on the radio today. And somebody said this to me yesterday. Listen, I don't know about you, but I get a busload of people. Anybody asks me about pertaining to this show is the mayor's race. If I get 25 times a week, who's going to win?
Yeah.
What do you think? Who's in the lead? Who are you going to vote for? Who's going to win? I get that. When I am not exaggerating. When I tell you I get 25 times a week, people ask me that.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said to me yesterday, out of the blue, and I'm gonna tell you what they told me, and I want you to think about it. You can comment when we get back. And they said, does this city need a manager, or does this city need a leader?
Ooh.
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twenty-one past 6 o'clock, time for KEEL Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Thanks to fall break, several high school games will be played tonight, including some 1-5A showdowns. Houghton hosts Shreve, while Parkway will be busy with Byrd. District 1-4A's last unbeaten team, Northwood, host Huntington. Benton welcomes their rivals from North DeSoto. Other games tonight include Airline hosting North Webster. Loyola visits St. Mary's in Natchitoches. And North Caddo travels to D'Arbonne Woods with Southwood meeting Evangel. Cowboys fans will pull for the impossible tonight. Both teams losing. NFC East foes New York and Philadelphia play in New Jersey to get the NFL week started. LSU fans got a big dose of good news Wednesday. Starting inside linebacker Jacob Phillips will be a full go for Saturday's game against second-ranked Georgia. The sophomore is the Tigers' third leading tackler. He missed the Florida game after getting hurt against Ole Miss. Former Evangel star Micah Baskerville started in his place last week and racked up 11 tackles, but head coach Ed Orgeron said the Shreveport freshman, quote, had like 5 missed tackles, end quote. In addition, tight end Thaddeus Moss, the son of Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss, practiced in full pads Wednesday, an indication that he can make his debut this Saturday in Tiger Stadium. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.117 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, the Jack Spring Electric Shockbuster button. I'm not the one who... You look like you're dressed to go skiing today, or at least by comparison.
Snow skiing?
Yeah. Have you ever been snow skiing?
I've been, let's just say...
Yes.
I've been snow tubing.
What?
I've been snow tubing, where you sit on a tube and go down the mountain. I'm not...
Is that...
I don't have the hips for skiing.
Was that at Sochi? Is that an Olympic event?
No, it should be, though. It's rockin' fun. It's rockin' fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Can you...
I'm not a skier. I'm not a snowboarder. I love to watch.
Can't believe that.
I love to sit in the hot tub with wine and watch them come down the slopes.
Now, there's an Olympic event, my
friend.
friend.
I could win that baby.
Yes, sir.
I could.
Win the Whitney Houston Award.
Get a big old jug of wine.
Ooh, that was cold. Okay.
Oh,
so does the city need... This is what somebody said to me yesterday. Does the city... And this is pre all of this news from yesterday. And this is just... So don't... Let's not relate those two immediately, but of course they do.
Right.
And they said to me, does the city need a manager or a leader? And obviously, the implication is we don't have a leader, we have a manager. And look, we both know, without mentioning names, we're not the first person to say that.
No, we're not. But is there a leader in the field? Is there truly?
Haven't I asked them that? Haven't I asked everyone, what is the mayor's responsibility to be an inspirational and or a moral leader?
Yeah, that's where I don't know that we've got that. You know, I don't know that we've had that in a long time. I really don't.
And we're back to the conversation we had on Monday or maybe possibly Tuesday morning, I don't remember, and what I said in the last segment. It's not the mayor's fault, those people, that sounds horrible. I sound like Don Lemon on CNN. Did you see the Kanye thing?
No.
Holy cow. Hold on a second. I'll just read you the headline. This is for later. CNN slammed as racist after commentators call Kanye token Negro.
Wow.
Let me find the other.
Wow.
Bum, 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 bum. He was called a token Negro, a dumb Negro. Let me see what the other one was. There was another one about this is what happens when Negroes don't read, as far as his visiting the White House. But we'll get back to this later. So when I said those people, I immediately thought, my God, I sound like a CNN correspondent, and I apologize if you took it the wrong way. Those people in the sense that the people that shot each other yesterday in both locations. It's not anybody. That's not Ollie Tyler's fault.
No.
She didn't create the situations. She didn't create the sociological problems. Ollie Tyler is not responsible for the perpetual and multi-generational poverty that propagates a great portion of America.
But could we have more officers patrolling our neighborhoods? Would that help? If we had seen a police car roll through that neighborhood, during the time or before or right before this happened,
but
could that have prevented it?
You talk all the time. In fact, and you kind of stand up, and I don't mean mistakenly. You kind of stand up for Chief Crump, and you kind of stand up for Miss Tyler when you say these. It's not like this was a mob hit. It's not like it was a plan. It's not like it was a crime. It's a bunch of guys getting pissed off at each other.
Tempers flare.
And the first thing, what they do when you disrespect me.
They don't punch each other or walk away.
Their first response to not getting their way is to pull out a gun and shoot somebody in the chest.
If I get mad at somebody, I remove myself from the situation. I need my space. I walk away.
Dear gang guys, do what Erin does.
Walk away.
When you get really mad at somebody, go to your office and send an email.
Yeah.
Throw away those gats. Get a laptop.
Right. Do something other than pull a gun and shoot somebody.
But I'm just not, but it is what it is.
In the case the other morning, we have a 1-year-old baby in the hospital
After
with a gunshot.
20 shots fired into a house.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's how's that Ollie's fault?
It's not.
How's that any politician's fault?
It's not the chief's fault either. I mean, they can all say you want to get rid of the chief, and that's fine and dandy. You want your own guy, I get that. But to blame crime and shootings on one person when this is a system wide.
But on the other hand, I mean, here's where we are. Here's the decisions. Here are the decisions that we, in a very short amount of time, have to make. Is everything being done at the top levels of the city to thwart, to make it more difficult for these kind of things to happen, to keep a lid, if you will, on things like this?
Yeah. We had this discussion at my dinner table last night with my son and his friend. They're in their early 20s. And I asked them, I said, is there ever any thought, and both of them have guns, and I asked,
ex-Marines.
Yeah, I said, is there any thought, any chance, if you got into a fight at a club or wherever, that you'd pull out a gun and shoot somebody? And they were both like, never in a million years.
See, now you're
talking. I said, what makes that different for you? And you know what my son said? He said, because of the way I was raised. That's not how you deal with problems. And we talked about how you deal with problems and when you're wronged.
Going back a year, when you live in a culture where your first response to somebody owing you $10 and they don't have it is to take out a gun and shoot them in the chest, the problems may be a little bit bigger than maybe one person can tackle.
Yeah.
29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update just ahead of local news. Ruben's ready.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 75, clear with a low of 52 tonight, then sunny, high 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
of information. KEEL News now.
Thousands of people forced from their homes in the Florida Panhandle trying to get away from Hurricane Michael. Sarah Hildebrand of Panama City was planning on riding out the storm at home until she caught a call from her daughter pleading for her to evacuate and stay with her in nearby Alabama.
My daughter called crying, telling me that the winds had increased and to please leave and come to Mobile.
At least 2 people are known dead from the storm. Now Louisiana has sent help to Florida. Fire Marshal Butch Browning telling KEEL News our teams will help with urban search and rescues in the hard-hit areas.
So we have about 95 responders that'll be leaving shortly. Some left early this morning. We've dispatched the fire marshal deputies with our command post and our logistical support to get there a little early to receive these responders. But primarily, we'll be doing urban search and rescue.
A team of relief is also on standby. Some of those folks are from the Shreveport Fire Department. 2 men wounded in a shootout Wednesday afternoon. The incident happened around 2 o'clock near Southfield and River Road. According to police, 2 groups of men were arguing with each other before shots rang out. At least one of the 2 victims suffered life-threatening injuries in the incident. Police still searching for the other man involved in the shootout. Scyport set to reopen this month. Matt Parker with that.
After being closed in the spring of 2017, Scyport Discovery Center downtown will be reopening next week. The Children's Education Center will be reopening October 18th with new exhibits and features to explore. Red River STEM took over management of the facility back in June and is working to regain the trust of the community. Diane Clark, executive director, says that without support from the community, Scyport can't exist. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The State Department of Health announces water samples taken from Bossier City have tested positive for brain-eating amoeba. Several samples taken from the southern part of Bossier tested positive for the parasite. Now, health officials have now ordered Benton's CBB water to conduct a chlorine burn of its system. The order's precautionary measure after the discovery of brain-eating amoeba in Bossier. A chlorine flush is happening in the Bossier system as well. Shreveport police investigating what's being described as a rolling gun battle. The shootout started on West 73rd and ended on Pine Tree Drive. Police say 2 groups of people in separate cars were firing shots at each other. 2 men have been arrested, at least 1 other man on the run. New Medicare cards will be on their way to Louisianians who get their health care from the feds. The new cards come with a few changes to better protect beneficiaries' identities and fight fraud. A regional administrator, Jeff Henson, says when the new card comes in, the old card has to go.
Both those cards are active, and that Social Security number is active in the Medicare program. It's really important that they securely destroy that.
Now, the new card should be in the mail by late November. Speaking of the mail, the Postal Service wants to increase the price of a stamp from 50 cents to 55 cents. It would be the biggest increase since '91. How'd you like a piece of the moon? Well, it could soon be yours if you have the right amount of cash. Ken Duffy explains.
Boston-based RR Auction plans to put a chunk of the moon on the block, selling it to the highest bidder. The 12-pound lunar meteorite was found last year in Africa and is believed it fell to Earth thousands of years ago. Most are not usually this big. They're more like a golf ball or walnut size. It's composed of a half-dozen fragments fitting together like a puzzle, and it could go for $500,000 or more. The CEO of Aerolite Meteorites, which is selling it, says this is close to a once-in-a-lifetime find. Ken Duffy, Fox News.
No Powerball winner last night, so the jackpot for Saturday night climbs to $314 million. The Mega Millions drawing for tomorrow night will be worth over $600 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 638. Here we go. CNN slammed as full-blown racist after commentators call Kanye West token Negro. Did you hear about this? Because you know he's going to the White House and hang out with Donald Trump.
Right.
CNN being accused of racism after commentators Bakari Sellers, an African-American, and Tara Setmeyer, an African-American, bashed rapper Kanye West. You did see that he was pretty much pilloried when he did Saturday Night
I saw that,
for wearing
yeah.
the MAGA hat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bakari Sellers and Tara Setmeyer bashed rapper Kanye West over his support for Donald Trump on CNN Tonight with Don Lemon, going so far as to call him a token Negro. Kanye is what happens when Negroes don't read, CNN commentator Bakari Sellers said in reference to an old Chris Rock bit. CNN's Tara Setmeyer went even further, calling Kanye an attention whore like the president.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
Why is it unbelievable? Why is it unbelievable? What do you think if somebody... Here's what's unbelievable. Imagine what would happen if that were on Fox.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Imagine if somebody on Fox calls somebody black a token Negro, or said, this is what happens when Negroes don't read. Imagine if somebody on Fox had said that. Imagine if on Hannity's show somebody had said that. Or on any of the others.
Yeah, it would be everywhere.
God, it'd be banging on the door like it was the Supreme Court. 639, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic update right now. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive near East Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 642. God, what a miserable show.
What?
It's just the news is just all awful.
I know, it's rough today.
I mean, it's rough every day.
And I didn't win the Powerball last night, so the price for Friday night's $314. Mega Millions, the Powerball Saturday night. Mega Millions tomorrow night's worth $600 million.
You know what?
That makes me happy.
Let's change the tone of the show.
Let's do.
The young lady's name, is it Megan Huffstickler?
Megan Huffstickler.
And her son Wyatt.
Yeah, 6 years old.
If you missed this yesterday, they are going to be on America's Funniest Videos this Sunday night.
Uh-huh.
And I think there is an explanation of why in our conversation with Miss Megan yesterday. But you started off the whole thing by playing a segment of the video.
Yeah.
The audio at least. Folks will hear in just a second. This is sort of the audio of the vid that they sent as their entry.
I cut my hair and I got glue and I put it right there, and then I got the hair from the ground and I put it on. Also,
Wyatt, listen to me. Don't you ever, seriously, don't ever cut your hair again.
Okay, Mom. He cut his hair from his head and he did what with it?
So he cut his hair and he took some of his Elmer's glue and he put it underneath his armpit.
Wait. just to review, because because I did some stupid. Not to imply. I have a track record as a youth of doing. Let's say I did some spotty things. Your son Wyatt took scissors, cut his own hair.
A big hunk right out of the front, didn't he?
Oh, right out the front. Yeah. Right
then got Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
And finish my sentence for me once again.
And he just stuck it underneath his armpit, so it looked like he had some hair growing underneath.
Tell me he got this idea from Dad.
Well, so his dad would be so upset if he really had to take credit for this, but no, he did not. My husband was sitting on the couch, and he had his arms up, like kind of reclined back on the couch, and Wyatt saw that he had a little armpit hair sticking out of his shirt, and so he asked his dad, he was like, Dad, how do I get hair underneath my arms like that? And so my husband tells him, well, when you become a man, then you can get some hair underneath your arms. So my son takes it upon himself to go in the crafts drawer and go get some scissors and go to the bathroom. So he was not supervised in doing any of this. Go to the bathroom, cut his hair, and then got some glue and stuck it underneath there.
When Wyatt is that quiet, when he is that self-involved for any length of time, do you normally start to worry a little bit?
No, I really don't. I mean, he's a funny kid, so this doesn't really surprise me, but then it does, because he's never cut his hair or done anything like this before. But I mean, I really thought it was pretty inventive.
Now, Mom, Megan, you noticed the gap on his head first, right?
No, I didn't. So he walked out of his room, and I mean, he just had his little underwear on, but he walked out of his room and he had his arm up in the air, and he was just looking at it, just walking out like, yeah. And I'm like,
a man, yeah.
What are you? Yeah, so his hair underneath his arm was the first thing to notice, because he had it up in the air, and he was really excited about it.
He didn't do it on both sides, did he?
No, just one.
Oh,
just one.
Just like me, but we won't go into that. So you took the video, and suddenly, you know what? I could make some money off of this kid.
Well, I'll tell you, he's been on his own YouTube channel, and so we're like, you don't need a YouTube channel. It's fine, because he's like, wants to do videos all the time now. So we just thought it'd be fun to, submit it to America's Funniest Home Videos just to see. And then we started getting the emails and stuff like, hey, if your video makes it to the final cut, like, we need you to sign off on all this stuff. So we did, and then got a call, I guess 2 days ago, saying that it would be on America's Funniest Home Videos this Sunday.
Now,
just out of the blue.
Are you actually going to the show? How's that work?
We aren't.
Okay, when does that happen if he makes it to the finals?
Well, so I emailed whoever responded to me about it, and she said that they've already chosen the final 3 videos. So they got in touch with those people a couple weeks before now. So ours is just going to be on the show. I guess it didn't make it to the final 3.
Okay, but are you having a Watch Wyatt Grow Hair party to watch the show?
Of course we are. We're going to have a big viewing party, roll out the red carpet. I'm going to get him a cake with a screen printed picture of his armpit hair on there. It's going to be great.
Just to back up a little bit, what did you do next? I mean, did he shave? Did you get out turpentine? What exactly?
Tweezers?
What exactly was your next parental move?
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I don't even know, because I was sitting in the chair filming, and you can hear me cackling, but I'm just laughing. And so my husband's like, go wash it off. So, he went to the bathroom by himself and washed off and came back.
So the glue hadn't it hadn't set. Luckily, he didn't use super glue, right?
Right, it was not super glue, just Elmer's, and it was still fresh.
Megan,
so he could wash it off.
I know this America's Funniest Video thing takes a process. How long ago did this actually happen?
This happened in May.
Okay. So it was
it happened
pretty quick for you.
Yeah, it was. It was.
How many of Wyatt's friends know about I'm sure this is big news in Stonewall,
and
right?
have copied him.
Well, I don't know of anyone that's copied him, but he's been telling everyone.
Oh, I bet.
Yes, he's so excited. We had a lady come up to us in the Dollar General, and she said something about his video, so he was like, he thinks he's big time.
649, it's 101.7 FM 710 Keel. Your money now just ahead. Here's Ruben Traffic Update.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 75, clear with a low of 52 tonight, then sunny, high 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com. KeelNews.com.
It is 6:52. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Sports time. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Thanks to fall break, several high school games will be played tonight, including some 1-5A showdowns. Houghton hosts Shreve, while Parkway will be busy with Byrd. District 1-4A's last unbeaten team, Northwood, hosts Huntington. Benton welcomes their rivals from North DeSoto. Other games tonight include Airline hosting North Webster. Loyola visits St. Mary's in Natchitoches, and North Caddo travels to D'Arbonne Woods with Southwood meeting Evangel. Cowboys fans will pull for the impossible tonight. Both teams losing. NFC East foes New York and Philadelphia play in New Jersey to get the NFL week started. LSU fans got a big dose of good news Wednesday. Starting inside linebacker Jacob Phillips will be a full go for Saturday's game against second-ranked Georgia. The sophomore is the Tigers' third leading tackler. He missed the Florida game after getting hurt against Ole Miss. Former Evangel star Micah Baskerville started in his place last week and racked up 11 tackles, but head coach Ed Orgeron said the Shreveport freshman, quote, had like 5 missed tackles, end quote. In addition, tight end Thaddeus Moss, the son of Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss, practiced in full pads Wednesday, an indication that he can make his debut this Saturday in Tiger Stadium. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
6:55. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. LSU is have you seen this? LSU at home against Georgia is like a 7 or 7.5. Look it up for me real quick.
Underdog?
Yeah. LSU's like plus 7.5, I think. Against the number 2 team in the country. Does that surprise you?
Not really. It's going to be a tough game to win.
Do you
it
think
really
LSU
is.
lost at Florida because of Florida's home field advantage? Do you think in your expert opinion, Ms. Sausage Ball Thrower, did LSU lose? If that game had been in Baton Rouge, would they have won?
Oh, yeah.
Against Florida?
Oh, yeah.
Really? You think it was that close a game?
I think the crowd would have pumped us up in the fourth quarter. We just kind of fizzled out in the fourth quarter.
What do you got, kid?
7.5 with a 50.5 point
over-under?
Over-under.
Wow. What time is that? It's Saturday afternoon, right? It's an afternoon game.
I believe
2:30.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, God, I got to make the sausage balls early.
Yeah.
See, I didn't make them last weekend, and we lost.
Talk about it later. Got to go. I want your take on the game a little bit later. 6:56. Here's Rush on Keel.
The drive-by media is sending up smoke signals. They are warning leftists to be very concerned that President Trump and other Republicans are characterizing Democrats as an angry mob. The Amazon Prime Washington Post ran a long story about it, whining that portraying Democrats as an angry mob evokes fear in people. But President Trump has it right, folks. Democrats like Maxine Waters encourage the mob to harass Republicans in their private lives, and left-wing mobs do it. We have seen Democrat angry mobs threaten Republicans on social media. We have seen Democrat angry mobs attack Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee, Senator Ted Cruz and his wife, and others. We've heard the mobs demonic screaming in the halls of Congress, and we've seen them circling elected officials venting their rage. They are a mob. They're deranged. They're lunatics. They're angry. They're out of control. Psychological disorders. And they're getting worse by the hour. That's why the drive-by media is worried. They know that when Republicans cast the Democrat Party as an out-of-control angry mob, it rings true because it is what you see, and they are what we see. And they want to be able to deny it, but they can't. Say, folks, if you own land, you're going to want to listen to this. My good friends at Mahindra may have the best Mahindra tractor deal I've ever seen. For a limited time, get a Mahindra E-Max 20S HST for as low as $95 a month. This is a versatile 20-horsepower Mahindra E-Max for less than $100 a month. Now, this offer even includes Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty and access to Mahindra's nationwide dealer parts and service network. So get the E-Max for the minimum. This big-time offer will not last. Save big on the world's #1 selling tractor, Mahindra.
6.49% APR financing now through December 31st, 2018. See your dealer or MahindraUSA.com for more information. Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Kelly Tractor and Equipment in Longview or visit kellytractor.net. That's kellytractor.net.
Responders are still on scene dealing with a major accident on Colquitt Road near the Derrick in Keithville. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Benton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Here's your KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Markedly cooler, sunny today. High may not even hit 80. Right now, 56 at Keel. It is, looky here, 7 o'clock. Here comes Fox News on Keel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Good morning, 703 Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Don't forget about the KEEL app, a free download. Erin has local news. Oh, brother. Up next.
Team of Louisiana first responders in Florida helping with Hurricane Michael relief efforts. We'll talk more about that. A shooting in the Broadmoor area. We'll have more on that this morning, too. And the brain-eating amoeba positive test in Bossier.
You know what? Would I be wrong if I said, no, it wasn't a shooting. It was a gunfight.
It was pretty close.
It was a gunfight.
Yeah.
Details on the way, and local political muckraker John Settle.
Raker of all muck.
Raker of all muck.
Yeah.
He's raking some muck right now, but his hat is nice. Bon chapeau. John Settle joins us in less than 10 minutes. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
Of information. KEEL News now.
Hurricane Michael has now been downgraded to a tropical storm. It's believed responsible for at least 2 deaths, including the death of a child in Georgia. WGXA-TV reports Seminole County Emergency Management Agency's director says someone called 911 as the storm passed through the area to report the child's death. Now, State Fire Marshal Butch Browning telling KEEL News a team from Louisiana is now in the region helping with rescue efforts, but another team is ready to go.
The other thing we have to look at is after 3 or 4 days, we have to start transitioning people out. So Shreveport would be on our second response. And because of their distance to travel, it actually works out well that they would come in stage days in the days to come to go in and swap out.
95 folks from Louisiana are in the area. They brought with them 24 boats. 2 wounded in a Shreveport shootout. Matt Parker has that.
2 men were wounded in a shootout Wednesday afternoon. The incident happened around 2 p.m. on Southfield near River Road. According to investigators, 2 groups of men were arguing with each other before shots rang out. At least one of the 2 victims suffered life-threatening injuries in the incident. Police are still searching for the other men involved in the shootout. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Another shooting in the news today. Police investigating what's being described as a rolling gun battle. According to officers, the shootout started on West 73rd and ended on Pine Tree Drive. Police say 2 groups of people in separate cars were firing shots at each other. 2 men have been arrested. At least 1 other man is on the run. Blood at the scene leads police to believe that person was wounded in the violent encounter. The Department of Health announces water samples taken from Bossier City have tested positive for brain-eating amoeba. Several samples taken from the southern part of Bossier tested positive for the parasite. This comes just a day after the city announced it was conducting a chlorine flush of its system. The flush is already underway and is expected to take 60 days. Now, state health officials have ordered Benton's CBB water to conduct a chlorine burn of its system. This order is a precautionary measure after the discovery of the amoeba in Bossier's water supply. LSU has yet to lose back-to-back games with Coach Ed Orgeron as head coach. They'll try to keep that streak going when they host second-ranked Georgia. Cornerback Christian Fulton says the team is disappointed it lost against Florida, but they got a great opportunity against the second-ranked Bulldogs on Saturday.
Our season is definitely far from over, and we get another chance to play a great team coming in this week. So, that's all we can look forward to this right now. We didn't play as well as we could, but, we're going to get our mistakes corrected, and we're going to move on.
Georgia brings a 6-0 record to Baton Rouge. A Stonewall boy gets a shot at the limelight this weekend. 6-year-old Wyatt Huffstickler wanted to be like Dad, so he cut a hunk of hair from the front of his head and used Elmer's glue to put it in his armpit. His mom, Megan Huffstickler, telling KEEL News how he got this bright idea.
My husband was sitting on the couch, and he had his arms up, like kind of reclined back on the couch. And Wyatt saw that he had a little armpit hair sticking out of his shirt, and so he asked his dad. He was like, "Dad, how do I get hair underneath my arms like that?" And so my husband tells him, "Well, when you become a man, then you can get some hair underneath your arms." So my son takes it upon himself to go in the crafts drawer.
The video of Wyatt will be shown on America's Funniest Videos Sunday night at 6 p.m. on KTBS. You can see it on our website now at KEELnews.com. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Past 7 o'clock. It's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Uri Drive and Southfield Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app is always a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. The gentleman to my left, to your...
You keep calling him a muckraker.
Muckraker. Look it up.
Is he good with that? Are you good with that?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Look up the word muckraker.
The raker of all muck.
Yeah, he's got this farm equipment in the back of his Volkswagen. Mr. John Settle is here. Mr. John, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing, my friend?
I am great.
You wanted to come in and talk about the mayor's race. You wanted to come in and talk about the mayor's, as far as the mayor's race is concerned, the finances that are going along. And ever since we announced that, we get all these texts. Literally, Erin is inundated with texts. Well, you know, Settle is working for X or Y or Z.
Or he's donating money to X or Y or Z.
So set the record straight. Who you backing, if anybody? Have you given any money? Are you on anybody's payroll? What exactly is the story?
The mayor's race, I have given no money. I'm not on any committees, advisory. I'm not on any campaign events. And I rarely get even invitations to fundraisers.
Do you have a horse in the race that you're?
I do not have a horse in the race other than the best person for Shreveport.
So far, the muck you have raised is non-discriminatory.
In my opinion, it is.
Okay. The finance reports were due on the 9th. Some are published, some are not, some are in, some are not. You have been going over the numbers. What's the biggest red flag that jumps out from these campaign finance reports in the mayor's race?
First of all, I've had the opportunity to see all 5 reports. Mr. Savage's report is not online yet, to my knowledge. I haven't looked this morning, but I have a copy of it. The biggest thing?
Yeah, biggest surprise.
Well, that from 1 March through 27 September, this is the reporting period, that Perkins has outraised Tyler by $12,000.
Total amount?
In total dollars, Perkins has raised $132,000 in that time frame. Tyler has raised $120,000.
Whew.
And
what does that tell you? What does it tell you?
Tyler is a well-known. Her name is well known in Shreveport forever. And she's been mayor for almost 4 years. To me, Perkins was an unknown one January.
In a race in a city the size of Shreveport, given the, I don't want to say market lack of funding compared to other cities, Shreveport is not a big money political town in the contribution sense. So $12,000 is a rather substantial amount. Fair?
It is. And what's even more important is all these contributions in this time period are substantially less than they were 2014.
I was going to ask you, we were talking about $250,000 for some of these
Some
folks.
of the Perkins, no, excuse me, Patrick Williams and Ollie had about $250,000 by this time frame.
Names on the list that are these the usual suspects who give to campaigns, businesses, law firms, etc.?
Well, on Tyler's list, yes. On Mayor Tyler's list, she has a substantial number of people who do business with the city of Shreveport. And by my review, she's raised about $65,000 plus from vendors or contractors with the city of Shreveport.
And that's pretty standard.
Well, that's pretty standard, but it represents more than 50% of her contributions raised in this time period.
Well, you said Perkins has raised $12,000 more. When you look at the individual or the corporate breakdowns on the Perkins campaign, are there as many
I got that answer.
Corporate sponsors for Perkins, or is he predominantly individual?
Perkins has raised about $11,000 from people who I have identified could get work from the city of Shreveport. These are people in engineering and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So,
but is that a surprise? Adrian Perkins didn't get city employees a raise. Ollie did. I mean, why is that surprising?
It's just a statement of fact. What's surprising is this, is that all those $64,000, those major contributors to Ollie's campaign, will probably be looking in the window and saying, maybe we should give some money to Perkins now.
Okay.
My guess is that he could probably raise $30,000 to $40,000 from those contributors who want to, quote, hedge their bets that if he wins, that they still will be in good standing at City Hall.
What about the 2 Republicans? How are they doing in terms of bringing in money? Are they battling for the same dollar, I guess?
Well, it's very interesting. On raising money, Jim Taliaferro has raised $31,400. Savage has only raised $7,200.
Does that surprise you?
I don't have a good feel for that race. Probably so. Taliaferro has run for office before, more well known, and he has the backing of the more traditional Republicans. Savage,
given the fact that in the most recent poll, that JMC poll that had Taliaferro, Savage, Taliaferro second and third behind Miss Ollie, obviously it's not hurting him.
First of all, I haven't seen the poll, so I don't know how credible the poll is. I mean, there's some rumors around that only landlines were called. I have no idea. I have not seen the poll. But
actually, Mr. Couillon said that that not only landlines were called. So, I mean, we had him on. So.
I have no idea.
The Kitchens poll, have you seen anything back from that yet?
I haven't seen any polls at all.
Really?
So I'm the neutral person. All I have looked at is I've observed the campaigns closely, and I've reviewed in great detail these reports plus Mr. Savage's online.
Mm-hmm. Do you have some names on there of people that would make you go, why are you giving to this campaign?
No. What impressed me the most was that I did not see any names that appeared to be, quote, red herrings or would cause like, why are you giving? If you look at some of the things that I thought were interesting is that, I'm sorry, I have so many notes here.
And the limit's 2,500.
2,500 during the primary.
Okay.
It was 2,500 last year, 25 this year through the primary, and then in the general election or runoff, you can also go up to 2,500.
Okay.
Let me give you some comparisons between Ollie and Perkins, if you'd like to know.
Mm-hmm.
Total contributors to Perkins was 216. This is just this time. Ollie had 158. Local contributors, and I say local Shreveport-Bossier, not Houghton, not Benton, or any surrounding areas. Perkins had 143. Ollie had 128. Other contributors outside Shreveport-Bossier, that means all the way to New Orleans, to Houghton,
George Soros,
to Benton. George Soros' name did not appear. In state, Perkins had 20. Ollie had 21. Out of state, Ollie had 9. Perkins had 53. Most of the Perkins out-of-state contributions were relatively small. A lot of them appeared to be maybe military people, or perhaps people he went to school with at Harvard or West Point. I have no idea, but there weren't any. If you want dollar breakdown on it, I can give that to you.
Well, we got to take a break.
Hang on just a couple of seconds more with John Settle standing by. 19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. It's traffic update time. Here's Ruben.
Responders are still on scene dealing with a major accident on Colquitt Road near the Derrick and Keithville. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Benton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 75, clear with a low of 52 tonight, then sunny, high 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
City. 721 KEEL Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Thanks to fall break, several high school games will be played tonight, including some 1-5A showdowns. Houghton hosts Shreve, while Parkway will be busy with Byrd. District 1-4A's last unbeaten team, Northwood, hosts Huntington. Benton welcomes their rivals from North DeSoto. Other games tonight include Airline hosting North Webster. Loyola visits St. Mary's in Natchitoches. And North Caddo travels to D'Arbonne Woods, with Southwood meeting Evangel. Cowboys fans will pull for the impossible tonight. Both teams losing. NFC East foes New York and Philadelphia play in New Jersey to get the NFL week started. LSU fans got a big dose of good news Wednesday. Starting inside linebacker Jacob Phillips will be a full go for Saturday's game against second-ranked Georgia. The sophomore is the Tigers' third leading tackler. He missed the Florida game after getting hurt against Ole Miss. Former Evangel star Micah Baskerville started in his place last week and racked up 11 tackles, but head coach Ed Orgeron said the Shreveport freshman, quote, had like 5 missed tackles, end quote. In addition, tight end Thaddeus Moss, the son of Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss, practiced in full pads Wednesday, an indication that he can make his debut this Saturday in Tiger Stadium. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 24 past 7 o'clock. Another segment with political muckraker. You can look it up. It's rather complimentary, actually.
Yeah.
John Settle. As you are analyzing, as you are dissecting the recent campaign financial reports of the 5 major candidates, as you're looking at those and you're looking at who got the most, who didn't get much, etc., is money that important in the Shreveport mayor's race?
Yes. There's no doubt about it. Money can't vote, but it's as close to a vote as you can get. I think money indicates the number of people supporting you, and that's why I looked at the number of individual contributors, and also money buys media exposure.
What is that?
So
what you think they're going to use the money on?
Pardon me. When are they going to start buying media exposure?
Well, I don't know. I'm not in the media business, but there has been a dearth of media exposure so far. One thing I would like to point out that's interesting, though, is these reports reflect income and expenditures through September 27th.
Mm-hmm.
And the next, and so they're a little bit dated in the scheme of things with time left. And the next report's not due until October 29th, which will show them through the 17th. But we're now down to how many days to the election?
Less than 30, yeah.
Less than 30.
I mean, right now, so far, we've seen some pretty slick commercials, but we've only seen them in social media.
I agree. It's a different race in the sense of the how expenditures are going and how much has been raised and expended since the September 27th through date is a big unknown. Because
which group in our community will decide this race? I mean, you hear the millennials could play a part, and you hear that it's going to be African Americans. Republicans may throw a wrench in this race. What's going to be the deciding factor?
It's kind of hard to say. I think it's going to be a little bit of all. I don't know that Republicans are going to throw much of a wrench in it, but I think that the millennials and maybe
when you say I don't think Republicans are going to throw much of a wrench, that leads me to believe that you think that Talaferro and Savage, that neither of them will make the runoff.
I'm fairly confident that it'll be Perkins and Tyler, and that's based upon my review of the financial reports and money and the fact that we have 2 Republicans on the ballot, which will, I think they will keep shooting each other in the foot.
Do you think it would behoove the Republicans, obviously you do, if one withdrew and threw their support to the other, or is it too late for that? Or would it make a difference?
Well, first of all, I'm a registered Republican, which may shock a lot of people, number one. Number two, it's too late for that. Number three, I think it wouldn't make much of a difference. I think that Leo Savage has appealed to a certain constituency that would not go vote for Talaferro simply because Talaferro is a Republican. And Talaferro's hardcore supporters would not vote for Savage because he's kind of a maverick in the sense of politics, And Jim's been a good old boy. He's been around. He does the right thing, says the right things, dresses the right way, and has been more
So
of an
just to
establishment
review,
person.
pardon me, you don't think Savage backers would vote for Talaferro. You don't think Talaferro voters would back Savage. Is that what you just said?
I don't think more than 50% of them would switch over.
Do you think they'd stay home? Do you think they would?
I think they would look at other alternatives.
Well, speaking of good old boys, we haven't talked
You're not talking about me.
No, we haven't talked about this one in a while, and I haven't talked about him with you. Greg Tarver has had influence in our mayoral races for a long, long time. He acts like he's sitting this one out. Do you believe that?
I honestly don't know. He's not listed and given a contribution to Perkins. He did give a contribution to a person running for the council.
Who was that?
James Fleury.
Okay.
It's obvious that Cedric Glover has had a lot of influence on Shreveport politics as well.
Sure.
He's given $500 to his protege, Jackson, and so he has been involved. You know, it doesn't bother me that these people are involved in Shreveport politics. You would name 5 or 10 white individuals that have always been pushing
Sure.
that? Well, you know, I'll just say the Downtown Committee 100 crowd, and I won't call any names out.
Okay.
And so we've always had various people from positions of power trying to influence elections because for the better good or to keep their positions of power.
But
So
Tarver staying out doesn't surprise you?
I don't really know how that's going to shake out. I read what he said. Everybody thought it may have been a setup. I do know that at one time Perkins was seeing or dating Tarver's daughter, and he's not doing that anymore.
At the end of the day, we got to wrap this up. At the end of the day, at the end of this election, are Shreveport's traditional movers and shakers, are the money people going to get what they want?
I don't know. I think because we now have more people participating in this campaign, that I don't know if you can say that there's one source of money in this campaign anymore, or in Shreveport, because there's obviously a large anti-Ollie or Tyler group.
Mm-hmm.
Started back when they had that thing at the Petroleum Club for Perkins. So there's obviously a large group of people that are dissatisfied with the Tyler administration.
What's their big problem with her, if you had to pinpoint it?
I think the common theme you hear is that she's a fantastic administrator, but not a progressive leader. And a chief administrative officer is the one that should be the administrator, and a mayor should be knocking on doors, going around the country looking for business, walking the streets without police escorts, talking to the people. So I think that a lot of people believe that the way we're going is we're just staying the same or maybe not improving, and that we need a shake-up, new thoughts, new energy, etc.
On the way out, rather than tell us who you think's going to win, put a name in an envelope, and we'll see in about maybe a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Will you come back and join us again?
Sure.
Before the election? John Settle, muckraker. Thank you so much for your
It's on
time.
his business card. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, 29 past 7 o'clock. Local news is next. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a major accident on Kingston Road near Willow Drive, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
information. KEEL News now.
Thousands of people forced from their homes in the Florida Panhandle trying to get away from Hurricane Michael. Sarah Hildebrand of Panama City was planning on riding out the storm at home until she caught a call from her daughter pleading for her to evacuate and stay with her in nearby Alabama.
My daughter called crying, telling me that the winds had increased, and to please leave and come to Mobile.
At least 2 people are known dead from the storm. Now Louisiana has sent help to Florida. Fire Marshal Butch Browning telling KEEL News our teams will help with urban search and rescues in the hard-hit areas.
So we have about 95 responders that'll be leaving shortly. Some left early this morning. We've dispatched the fire marshal deputies with our command post and our logistical support to get there a little early to receive these responders. But primarily, we'll be doing urban search and rescue.
A team of relief is also on standby. Some of those folks are from the Shreveport Fire Department. 2 men wounded in a shootout Wednesday afternoon. The incident happened around 2 o'clock near Southfield and River Road. According to police, 2 groups of men were arguing with each other before shots rang out. At least one of the 2 victims suffered life-threatening injuries in the incident. Police still searching for the other man involved in the shootout. Sideport set to reopen this month. Matt Parker with that.
After being closed in the spring of 2017, Sideport Discovery Center downtown will be reopening next week. The Children's Education Center will be reopening October 18th with new exhibits and features to explore. Red River STEM took over management of the facility back in June and is working to regain the trust of the community. Diane Clark, executive director, says that without support from the community, Sideport can't exist. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The State Department of Health announces water samples taken from Bossier City have tested positive for brain-eating amoeba. Several samples taken from the southern part of Bossier tested positive for the parasite. Now, health officials have now ordered Benton's CBB water to conduct a chlorine burn of its system. The order's precautionary measure after the discovery of brain-eating amoeba in Bossier. A chlorine flush is happening in the Bossier system as well. Shreveport police investigating what's being described as a rolling gun battle. The shootout started on West 73rd and ended on Pine Tree Drive. Police say 2 groups of people in separate cars were firing shots at each other. 2 men have been arrested, at least 1 other man on the run. New Medicare cards will be on their way to Louisianians who get their health care from the feds. The new cards come with a few changes to better protect beneficiaries' identities and fight fraud. A regional administrator, Jeff Henson, says when the new card comes in, the old card has to go.
Both those cards are active, and that Social Security number is active in the Medicare program. It's really important that they securely destroy that.
Now, the new card should be in the mail by late November. Speaking of the mail, the Postal Service wants to increase the price of a stamp from 50 cents to 55 cents. It would be the biggest increase since '91. How'd you like a piece of the moon? Well, it could soon be yours if you have the right amount of cash. Ken Duffy explains.
Boston-based RR Auction plans to put a chunk of the moon on the block, selling it to the highest bidder. The 12-pound lunar meteorite was found last year in Africa and is believed it fell to Earth thousands of years ago. Most are not usually this big. They're more like a golf ball or walnut size. It's composed of a half dozen fragments fitting together like a puzzle, and it could go for $500,000 or more. The CEO of Aerolite Meteorites, which is selling it, says this is close to a once-in-a-lifetime find. Ken Duffy, Fox News.
No Powerball winner last night, so the jackpot for Saturday night climbs to $314 million. The Mega Millions drawing for tomorrow night will be worth over $600 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 737. A short segment here. Erin panicked about LSU losing they've never lost 2 in a row under Orgeron.
That's what they say, yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
And they're 7.5-point underdogs at home.
Georgia's 6-0.
Georgia's pretty good.
Yeah, Georgia's pretty good.
So basically, if things come off the rails, they lost to Florida. Sorry.
The Gators.
Then they've got Georgia this week. Then a week off, and then Alabama. Is that right?
Alabama's November 3rd.
Okay.
So they got a little time.
Who's in the?
I'm sure they got Mississippi State in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just praying we can beat Georgia. If we beat Georgia, this season is a success.
Do you think, based on what you saw, LSU, the performance level of LSU against Florida, would you call that disappointing? Would you say that the only reason they lost, if that game had been at home, LSU would have won and won big?
I'm not saying big, but we would have won. If it had been home, we would have won.
So what you're
saying
is
we cratered in the fourth quarter.
What you're saying is that LSU, in your opinion, is a legitimate top 5 team and will be able, because they're home, to give Georgia, the number 2 team in the country, all they want.
I think it's going to be a good game.
739, it's 1017 FM, 710 Keel. A couple of days ago, we had, it's the IPCC, what is it, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Anyway, they were calling us the UN-funded global warming people who were calling for a $240, let me say that again, $240 a gallon gas tax.
That's just nuts.
Well, hold on a second, because when we come back, I'll just read you the headline. World must slash meat consumption to save climate. I've got a couple of flaws. I think I've got a couple of questions, and you can help me put my thoughts together.
Are they going to cut out my sausage balls?
731, 1017, 741, sorry. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. My mind was wandering. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that major accident on Kingston Road near Willow Drive. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 75, clear with a low of 52 tonight, then sunny, high 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
.117 FM, 710 Keel. The Keel app is a free download from Office Furniture Source. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, there are days when there are topics I want to discuss, and I think about them the night before, off and on through the day, sometimes in the morning, and everything sort of falls neatly into place. And then there are days where it's like an explosion and there's just sort of shrapnel in the air, and I'm kind of waiting to see where it lands. Sometimes it lands in the right spot, sometimes it lands in the wrong spot. So I need your collective assistance here.
Okay.
World, here's the headline, world must slash meat consumption to save climate. Now, we've had the stories before about methane taxes on farmers, well, not so much, well, farmers too, but on cattle ranchers, basically beef producers, saying that because, bluntly put, because of cow and sheep farts, that affects the atmosphere and
the carbon dioxide
is a major contributor to global warming, and the solution is to tax the hell out of the animal owners. They had one of those for quite a while in Australia and got rid of it. The world must drastically reduce its meat consumption in order to avoid devastating climate change, scientists said Wednesday in the most thorough study so far on how what we eat affects the environment. If you don't know, let me set the record straight. I think global warming is the biggest hoax, redistribution of wealth attempt ever foisted on the world. But
I believe some of it.
The research suggests the Western world would need to slash its meat intake by 90% to avoid crippling Earth's ability to sustain an anticipated 10 billion people by the year 2050. Food production, which produces damaging greenhouse gases from livestock, ruins enormous swaths of forests, and uses unsustainable amounts of water, is a major contributor to climate change. The scientists called for a global shift towards more plant-based diets, etc., etc. Livestock farming, the study said, poses a triple threat to the Earth's atmosphere as animals produce huge amount of greenhouse gas methane, coupled with the loss of carbon-absorbing forests that fail to accommodate grazing areas. Okay, so here's my question. Let me start here. It's not the fact that we're eating cows that's the problem. You correct me when I'm wrong.
Okay.
It's not the fact that we're eating cows that's the problem. The problem is, according to this study, it's that we are reproducing cows to further our desire for beef. You see my point?
Sure.
So really what this study says is that cows have to become extinct. Because if we stop eating cows, the population of cattle across the world will continue to grow. There will be more cow farts, and things will get worse. I'm being totally serious. What this study really says is that we have to kill all the cows.
Get rid of them altogether.
Yes. Isn't that what it's really saying? If the problem is methane produced by cattle, the problem is not the fact that we eat cattle. The problem is that we produce more and more cattle to sustain our want.
And they keep pooting.
Yeah. Am I wrong? So basically what we have to do is continue to eat. We have to eat more cattle, more beef.
Until they're gone.
Yes.
And quit reproducing them.
Exactly.
Until they're gone.
You understand? Look,
come on, if you believe that really is going to...
Wait, stop. It's not what I believe. It's what...
That's never going to happen. Okay, they can think all they want.
Is the problem cattle? According to this study, let's assume for the moment that the IPCC scientists are 100% right, and that methane produced by animals is one of the major contributors to global warming.
There is strong evidence that gases are a problem.
Okay,
not just cow gases.
Let's assume, but this is what the scientists are talking about.
Lots of gases.
This is what the scientists are talking about. The others are not for discussion now. If the problem is cow farts, methane produced by animals, the problem is not the fact that we consume them. The problem is that there are more and more of them. And if we stop consuming them, what are we to do with the ones that remain on the planet and continue to produce methane?
Get them some Metamucil or something. I don't know. It's ridiculous. We're not going to get rid of cattle.
It's not ridiculous.
It's just not going to happen.
A United Nations funded study who take themselves very seriously, the same people that produced the Paris Accords that all of the lefties say that Trump was an idiot to get the U.S. out of, you're saying now are a bunch of idiots.
Well, we have to find a way, I guess, maybe to capture the methane, to keep it from impacting the environment.
I'm not asking you for a solution. I just want you to jump to the same conclusion. No, I'm sorry, to reach the same conclusion I did, that anybody that would think that they're a bunch of fools. They're literally a bunch of fools.
To think that we would stop eating meat to save the planet.
Well, obviously they didn't think it through. If you stop eating meat, cows aren't going to die. The whole purpose of this, to stop cow farts and destroying the environment, is cows must die.
Yeah.
Cows must become an extinct species. Sheep must cease to exist. The problem is, I'll repeat myself again, not that we're
What about pigs? I love,
The problem is not that we're eating them. The problem is that they reproduce. Cows must go the way of the dinosaurs.
So make them sterile.
To save the earth.
Oh, boy.
749, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Just received reports of a major accident on Kingston Road near Willow Drive, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuWeather.com forecast, kind of sunny today. Beautiful, low 80s at the most. Right now, 55 at Keel. It is 750. Here's your money now. Good morning at 7:52. Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Thanks to fall break, several high school games will be played tonight, including some 1-5A showdowns. Houghton hosts Shreve, while Parkway will be busy with Byrd. District 1-4A's last unbeaten team, Northwood, hosts Huntington. Benton welcomes their rivals from North DeSoto. Other games tonight include Airline hosting North Webster. Loyola visits St. Mary's in Natchitoches, and North Caddo travels to Darbone Woods with Southwood meeting Evangel. Cowboys fans will pull for the impossible tonight. Both teams losing. NFC East foes New York and Philadelphia play in New Jersey to get the NFL week started. LSU fans got a big dose of good news Wednesday. Starting inside linebacker Jacob Phillips will be a full go for Saturday's game against second-ranked Georgia. The sophomore is the Tigers' third leading tackler. He missed the Florida game after getting hurt against Ole Miss. Former Evangel star Micah Baskerville started in his place last week and racked up 11 tackles, but head coach Ed Orgeron said the Shreveport freshman, quote, had like 5 missed tackles, end quote. In addition, tight end Thaddeus Moss, the son of Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss, practiced in full pads Wednesday, an indication that he could make his debut this Saturday in Tiger Stadium. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 755. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Yes'm.
I did not win the Powerball drawing last night, so it's climbing to $314 million for Saturday.
Wow.
Mega Millions for tomorrow night.
Yes.
$600 million plus.
That's a lot of money.
People are going crazy over these.
Me
included.
The amazing thing to me is it starts at like 40 million and nobody gives a damn.
And I don't care until it gets triple digits.
That's chump change.
Then I get triple digits, I start paying attention.
You win $40 million, you walk away with about 22 or 23.
I'd be so upset.
Even $20 million bucks, like you couldn't live on $20 million.
Why wasn't it $100 million?
That just constantly, I find that so amazing. $40 million, no, it's just not worth $1.
But
not worth a couple of bucks for $40 million.
If I had like Bill Gates money, why can't I buy all the combination of numbers for the Mega Millions? It won't cost me $600 million. Buy every combination of number, and then I'll have a winning ticket.
Because you don't have the patience to stand in line, and they don't have anybody patient enough to sell them all to you.
Couldn't you do it somehow by a computer system? Set up something?
Yeah.
I want every combination of number.
Do me a favor. As a bit, why don't you get your phone out, turn on the little video camera,
okay,
walk down to Circle K up the street here, get in line and say,
I want every combination of number.
I'm richer than hell.
Yeah.
I'm going to write, you can't take a check. Here's my debit card for every combination times $2.
Oh, boy.
7:57, here's Hannity on Keel.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I got to admit, after 9/11, I thought FISA was a great idea. Never having any belief that it was possible, as naive as I guess I was, that we would have government officials at the top upper echelons within the intel community, the FBI and the DOJ, that would literally be weaponizing the powerful tools of intelligence that we give them to protect we the people. And that I never in my lifetime thought that a political candidate can put together a flimsy dossier with Russian sources and it becomes the basis for a FISA warrant application, but not one, 4.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, if you or a loved one struggles with leg or foot cramps, you've got to try TheraWorks Relief. Now, this non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast, and with daily use, TheraWorks Relief can prevent muscle cramps. So that means you can get a full night's sleep or do the activities you love without any worry. TheraWorks Relief is my choice for preventing and relieving muscle cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, or just go to the website, TheraWorksRelief.com.
Are you putting your retirement savings in a 401k, IRA, or investment account? Then I have one word of advice. Stop. Experts warn of a stock market crash any day now, and you could lose 50% or more of your hard-earned savings again. But you don't have to lose a penny. There's a better, safer way to save for retirement, and you can learn about it in a free report. This method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
Still keeping a close eye on that major accident on Kingston Road near Willow Drive, and we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, a nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant, high 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
3 past 8 o'clock, it's Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Erin has local news and lots of it up next.
Local response in Florida. Lots of folks are helping out. Shooting in the Broadmoor neighborhood. 2 are wounded. People are talking about it. And a brain-eating amoeba positive test in Bossier.
First segment, promise, we'll talk about you said shooting in Broadmoor. If you don't know, it was at the corner of Southfield and River Road, right in that area.
Yeah, folks will call it the Captain Shreve neighborhood.
And
it's
wasn't.
Different,
It wasn't a shooting. It was a freaking gunfight.
Yeah.
We will discuss. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
Hour of information. KEEL News now.
Tropical storm Michael continues to weaken over eastern Georgia as it makes its way toward the Carolinas. Now, a team of Louisiana first responders is in the region in Florida. State Fire Marshal Butch Browning tells us what the teams are doing.
We'll bring about 24 boats and specialty boats to be able to do both swift water, which is fast moving water, and what we call fast moving, which is basically water with a current. So I'm telling you, it's going to be a challenging response, and a lot of preparation is going into making sure when we get these calls, we can do it.
Browning tells us nearly 100 folks from our state headed for that region. Today's nice, cool weather may be here to stay for another week. That's according to climatologist Barry Keim. The cold front has settled in, bringing with it temps as low as 50s this morning across the north part of the state. Keim says, unlike previous glimpses at fall weather in past weeks, this might be the real deal.
Really is the first significant cold front which crossed the state yesterday, and it's ushering in the first taste of significant fall weather for the state. And the beauty of it is that this cool weather is really going to persist.
He says tomorrow will be even cooler. We'll be dipping into the 50s across much of the northern part of the state. 2 people wounded in a shootout in Shreveport. Matt Parker with that.
2 men were wounded in a shootout Wednesday afternoon. The incident happened around 2 p.m. on Southfield near River Road. According to investigators, 2 groups of men were arguing with each other before shots rang out. At least one of the 2 victims suffered life-threatening injuries in the incident. Police are still searching for the other men involved in the shootout. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Department of Health announces that water samples taken from Bossier City have tested positive for brain-eating amoeba. Several samples taken from the southern part of Bossier tested positive. This comes one day after the city announced it was conducting a chlorine flush of its water distribution system. The flush is already underway and is expected to take 60 days. Meantime, health officials have ordered Benton's water district to conduct a chlorine burn of its system. The order is a precautionary measure after the discovery of brain-eating amoeba in Bossier. After being closed last year, Cyport will be reopening next week. The Children's Education Center will reopen October 18th with new exhibits and features to explore. Red River STEM took over management of the facility back in June and is working to regain the trust of the community. Shreveport police investigating what's being described as a rolling gun battle. According to officers, the shootout started on West 73rd and ended on Pine Tree Drive. Police say 2 groups of people in separate cars were firing shots at each other. 2 men have been arrested for their part in the incident. At least 1 other man is on the run. Blood at the scene leads police to believe that person was wounded in the violent encounter. America's retailers and shipping companies are looking forward to a robust holiday shopping season. There's just one problem. Who will stock the shelves, pack the orders, and ring up customers? The U.S. job market is the tightest it's been in 5 decades. A local boy will be on America's Funniest Videos Sunday night. Wyatt describes what he did to get armpit hair just like Dad.
I cut my hair and I got glue and I put it right there, and then I got the hair from the ground and I put it on. I was like,
Wyatt, listen to me. Don't you ever, seriously, don't ever cut your hair again.
Now, Wyatt and his family didn't win the big money, but they will be having a watch party with family and friends to enjoy Sunday night's show. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's traffic.
Looking right now at some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Benton Road right now. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near McDade Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 12 past 8 o'clock. The Shreveport Security Systems text line, forget ye not, is 318. Hell, I forgot. 318-392-1884. That's 318-392-1884. Corporal Angie Wilhite, Shreveport Police Department. Hey, Miss Angie, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Good
well,
morning.
we had a shooting yesterday. I guess it was approximately or maybe exactly at the corner of Southfield and River Road. When I say shooting, am I being melodramatic if I said it was actually a gunfight? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's very fair. It did happen just around 1:30 p.m. We had two groups of individuals that engaged in a fight right there at the corner, like you said, of Southfield, East Southfield and River Road. During the course of that fight, the men, what started as a fistic encounter turned into the two men arming themselves with guns and shooting each other. One suffered from life-threatening injuries.
Pardon me. Were they on foot? Were they in cars? How many people were there at this time? Were they the only two? What happened?
Well, I'm not going to release a lot of those details right now, Mr. Robert. We do have some witnesses that investigators are needing to interview. We have made an arrest in the case. Investigators charged 19-year-old Casey Cawthorn with one count of attempted second-degree murder last night, but they're wanting to hold some of the information so as not to compromise the investigation until we can get those other witnesses.
What sparked it? Do we have any ideas on what was the beef between these guys?
Well, we do. I can tell you there's a lot I can't tell you, but I will tell you it was a part of an ongoing argument.
Ages of these guys, how are these young men? What do you know about them?
19 and 20-year-olds.
Oh. And why there? Do they live in the area? Did they come from another area?
They do not live in the area, and those are, again, some details I just can't release until after the investigators give me the go-ahead on that. Again, we have some witnesses that are coming in, and we have to be careful with what we give out right now.
How many shots were fired? First of all, let's start here. What was the total length of the argument to shooting? How much time did they take? Where did it start? Where did it finish? How much, as odd as it sounds, how much ground did they cover? How long did it take before? Go ahead.
Okay. The whole encounter overall around 5 minutes, maybe less. It was contained to that intersection right there. It actually took place in the roadway right there at River Road and East Southfield. So everything took place right there. Now the two people that engaged in shooting each other, they of course remained on scene. Several of the people that were with them fled.
How many shots again?
Somewhere around 10.
Okay.
So this literally was a gunfight. I mean, like OK Corral, the Wyatt Earp movie. They're behind trees. They're firing at each other.
What kind of guns?
Handguns.
Any houses hit?
No, ma'am. We were very fortunate. We don't believe we haven't had any reports. Our investigators walked home to home along with patrol officers looking for any homes or vehicles that may have been struck with gunfire, and they weren't able to identify any. And as far as I know right now, we haven't gotten any calls from homeowners there saying, hey, I got home and I had a bullet hole in my car in my house. So we were very fortunate. I mean, I don't know if you know the setup of that neighborhood, but there's homes on both sides of the street. They sit close together. There were people actually out at that time.
Kind of like a boulevard. You've got the boulevard down the middle, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Angie, we're talking to Angie Wilhite, Corporal with Shreveport Police Department. A lot of people were posting on social media that you guys had a big force at the Cornerstone Apartments, which is right there next to Albertsons, that perhaps these folks came from there. Can you dispel that? Is that accurate, not accurate?
What we were doing is circulating. We had a vehicle description, and when we're given a vehicle description, the officers that aren't needed on the primary scene, we're going to start circulating and try to see if we can pick up those vehicles that have been described to us that may have fled the area. Of course, we're going to check apartment complexes. That was not the only apartment complex we were at, and it certainly wasn't the only location. We were all up and down Broadmoor. We were in all the nearby apartment complexes. We were along Uri Drive. We circulated extensively. We looked for that vehicle that was involved that we were looking for.
Any evidence they came from that apartment complex?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What about the wounded? You said life-threatening. How serious? Where was he shot?
Both had gunshot injuries to the upper body. The gentleman, hang on, let me give you his name, Erin.
Okay.
20-year-old Anthony Jenkins did suffer some life-threatening injuries as a result of that gunfire. and he is still at Ochsner's LSU Health, and I don't have an update on his condition. I know that it was still serious yesterday.
I read last night, I don't recall where, that it was one of the officers with a quick clot kit was responsible that actually saved his life. Is that true?
I don't know. I haven't been made aware of that if that was the case.
Shootings.
But I'll tell you this, our officers carry those. We're very fortunate, very blessed to have those as part of our uniform, and our officers are willing to use them. They've received the training, and they use them often. They save a lot of lives with those things.
Shootings in the middle of the day in a neighborhood like this causes a lot of concern in our community. What message do you have for residents in that area?
You know, Miss Erin, that's one of those things. We're talking about something that stemmed from an ongoing feud. It could have happened anywhere. Literally, it could have happened anywhere. It wasn't specific to that neighborhood. We don't have any reason to believe that any of those individuals lived in that neighborhood. It just happened to be where they crossed paths.
Angie Wilhite, Corporal, Shreveport Police Department. Thanks for your time.
All right, Miss Erin, y'all have a good day.
19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update right now. Here's Ruben.
Responders are still on scene cleaning up after an accident earlier this morning on Colquitt Road near the Derrick in Keithville. And we're dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny today, a nice day with a high of 75, clear with a low of 52 tonight, then sunny, high 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Twenty past 8 o'clock, time for KEEL Sports. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Thanks to fall break, several high school games will be played tonight, including some 1-5A showdowns. Houghton hosts Shreve, while Parkway will be busy with Byrd. District 1-4A's last unbeaten team, Northwood, hosts Huntington. Benton welcomes their rivals from North DeSoto. Other games tonight include Airline hosting North Webster. Loyola visits St. Mary's in Natchitoches. And North Caddo travels to Darbone Woods with Southwood meeting Evangel. Cowboys fans will pull for the impossible tonight. Both teams losing. NFC East foes New York and Philadelphia play in New Jersey to get the NFL week started. LSU fans got a big dose of good news Wednesday. Starting inside linebacker Jacob Phillips will be a full go for Saturday's game against second-ranked Georgia. The sophomore is the Tigers' third leading tackler. He missed the Florida game after getting hurt against Ole Miss. Former Evangel star Micah Baskerville started in his place last week and racked up 11 tackles, but head coach Ed Orgeron said the Shreveport freshman, quote, had like 5 missed tackles, end quote. In addition, tight end Thaddeus Moss, the son of Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss, practiced in full pads Wednesday, an indication that he can make his debut this Saturday in Tiger Stadium. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
23 past 8 o'clock. It's Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Jack Spring electric shockbuster button unused, and that's a good thing.
The clock is ticking.
It's like it's sort of like, what did they call it during the Cold War? Mutually assured destruction. It's basically that's its use. That's its purpose. That's the purpose which it fulfills.
Mm-hmm.
You had asked the city a couple of days ago, maybe 3, under, I guess, it sounds, what's it called? Not freedom of information.
A public records request.
Public records request for the 911 calls, the 911 calls last Friday night when the explosive device was found on the bridge.
Yes.
Have you heard from anybody? If you haven't, what are they saying is the reason that they haven't given you the calls?
More crickets. I haven't heard back from anybody, but I did get a message put on my Facebook that said the explosive device was not actually on the bridge. It was between Hillary Huckabee and North Market.
So it was.
So they had to shut down the bridge because all the emergency crews were up there, and it could have been something from the construction site or whatever. But it was put out as an explosive device on the bridge.
It was described by Shreveport Fire Department bomb squad. Correct me if I get something wrong.
No, you're right.
As an explosive device that was rendered safe.
Yes.
And I've said 1,000 times, if it's rendered safe, then at some point it had to be unsafe.
Right.
Like if I've got a hole in the kitchen floor and I render it safe, means I filled in the hole and you could have fallen in.
Right.
Something could have gone wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to do a follow-up with the city today to see where my public records request stands, because I would like to know more about what people saw.
What time of day was this again? It was
in the evening, 7:30 at night.
Was it really?
Yeah, and the bridge was closed for about 2 hours.
So the original 911 calls were about 7 or 7:30 in the evening, i.e., it's getting dark.
Yes.
So I would assume that a vehicle traveling at 50, 60, 65
70,
miles an hour, not really paying attention to things on the side of the road, and I'm assuming that's where it was, although we don't know for sure.
Right.
It would have to be of some conspicuous size. Am I wrong?
It would have to be bigger than a shoebox, I would assume.
And if it weren't exactly on the bridge, if it were off the bridge, it would have to be even bigger, because now you're getting into grassy areas between the end of the bridge and up to Hillary Huckabee.
Right, exactly.
So it would have to be, it seems to me, something that was pretty good size.
Yeah, I just want them to tell me,
Okay,
give me
stop,
an idea
stop,
of what it...
Stop, don't do this again. Just look at me before you say another word. Look at me.
Yeah.
Hair on fire.
I know.
Say, I promise.
I promise.
I will not.
I will not.
Be that hair on fire person.
Be that hair on fire person.
Between now and the end of this segment.
Between now and the end of the segment.
So, you asked for the 911 calls.
Right, and I want the full report.
Yeah.
Of what the incident report.
Okay.
Because
you freak out and your hair's on fire.
Yes. Cross Lake Bridge.
Just hold on.
Stay calm. Hum.
Don't start all your crazy talk like you've done every time we talk about this.
What is Cross Lake to us? Our water supply. All of our water comes from that lake for the entire city of Shreveport. If there's an explosive device...
Stop and breathe.
Okay. On the bridge, going over
Namaste.
Our city's water supply.
You got it.
I think we need to know a little bit more about it. Is all I'm saying. If it was something from a construction crew,
okay.
Tell us that. It was a hand grenade. It fell off of a Jeep.
Stop it. There's no hand grenades around
If it was
here.
a box of firecrackers.
There's no hand grenade.
If whatever it was it intended to harm the bridge? Or was it simply something fell off of a vehicle? Or was something in the construction area? Then just say that. I don't get what the big secrecy is about. I just simply don't understand why you...
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic and weather updates and Erin's local news up next. Twenty-nine past 8 o'clock. It's 101. Give me a moment. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Responders are still on scene cleaning up after an accident earlier this morning on Colquitt Road near the Derrick in Keithville. And we're dealing with some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Thousands of people forced from their homes in the Florida Panhandle trying to get away from Hurricane Michael. Sarah Hildebrand of Panama City was planning on riding out the storm at home until she caught a call from her daughter pleading for her to evacuate and stay with her in nearby Alabama.
My daughter called crying, telling me that the winds had increased and to please leave and come to Mobile.
At least 2 people are known dead from the storm. Now Louisiana has sent help to Florida. Fire Marshal Butch Browning telling KEEL News our teams will help with urban search and rescues in the hard-hit areas.
So we have about 95 responders that'll be leaving shortly. Some left early this morning. We've dispatched the fire marshal deputies with our command post and our logistical support to get there a little early to receive these responders. But primarily, we'll be doing urban search and rescue.
A team of relief is also on standby. Some of those folks are from the Shreveport Fire Department. 2 men wounded in a shootout Wednesday afternoon. The incident happened around 2 o'clock near Southfield and River Road. According to police, 2 groups of men were arguing with each other before shots rang out. At least one of the 2 victims suffered life-threatening injuries in the incident. Police still searching for the other man involved in the shootout. Sideport set to reopen this month. Matt Parker with that.
After being closed in the spring of 2017, Sideport Discovery Center downtown will be reopening next week. The Children's Education Center will be reopening October 18th with new exhibits and features to explore. Red River STEM took over management of the facility back in June and is working to regain the trust of the community. Diane Clark, Executive Director, says that without support from the community, Sideport can't exist. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The State Department of Health announces water samples taken from Bossier City have tested positive for brain-eating amoeba. Several samples taken from the southern part of Bossier tested positive for the parasite. Now, health officials have now ordered Benton's CBB water to conduct a chlorine burn of its system. The order's precautionary measure after the discovery of brain-eating amoeba in Bossier. A chlorine flush is happening in the Bossier system as well. Shreveport police investigating what's being described as a rolling gun battle. The shootout started on West 73rd and ended on Pine Tree Drive. Police say 2 groups of people in separate cars were firing shots at each other. 2 men have been arrested, at least 1 other man on the run. New Medicare cards will be on their way to Louisianians who get their health care from the feds. The new cards come with a few changes to better protect beneficiaries' identities and fight fraud. A regional administrator, Jeff Henson, says when the new card comes in, the old card has to go.
Both those cards are active, and that Social Security number is active in the Medicare program. It's really important that they securely destroy that.
Now, the new card should be in the mail by late November. Speaking of the mail, the Postal Service wants to increase the price of a stamp from 50 cents to 55 cents. It would be the biggest increase since '91. How'd you like a piece of the moon? Well, it could soon be yours if you have the right amount of cash. Ken Duffy explains.
Boston-based RR Auction plans to put a chunk of the moon on the block, selling it to the highest bidder. The 12-pound lunar meteorite was found last year in Africa and is believed to fell to Earth thousands of years ago. Most are not usually this big. They're more like a golf ball or walnut size. It's composed of a half dozen fragments fitting together like a puzzle, and it could go for $500,000 or more. The CEO of Aerolite Meteorites, which is selling it, says this is close to a once-in-a-lifetime find. Ken Duffy, Fox News.
No Powerball winner last night, so the jackpot for Saturday night climbs to $314 million. The Mega Millions drawing for tomorrow night will be worth over $600 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I'm starting this next segment with a bit of trepidation.
Uh-oh.
As you could tell by my inarticulateness.
Mm-hmm.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Matt off the air yesterday said something that was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, boy.
Not only in its scope, but its brevity. And I quoted you to a number of people yesterday, and they said, they just looked at me like, it's freaking awesome. It's absolute genius. It's not going to happen. What he said was, and we were talking about the evolution, the economic evolution in the USA, and how some businesses seem to figure it out, like Donnie Tubbs at Tubbs Hardware. We use him as an example. He is a man who is not only surviving but thriving in this digital age. A lot of stores at like Belmead, the specialty shops, they've figured it out, where you have places like Toys R Us or Sears that their business model, as Matt says, is something right out of the 60s. If you don't evolve, you die. They literally are dinosaurs. And so in the midst of it all yesterday, Matt looked up and said, damn. I said, what? He said, why isn't the post office buying drones?
He did say that.
If you had to speculate, FedEx is buying drones. UPS is buying drones. If the future of package and or postal delivery is drones, why isn't the post office buying them?
Maybe they are. We just don't know.
Let me make a statement and you talk me out of it.
Okay.
Is there more of a 60s Sears / Toys R Us destined to fail business model than the post office?
No. Post office is Struggling.
And the only reason it survives is because if it were a private business, would the post office be in business? Or is the only reason, I know this sounds horrible, and I know a lot of people work for the post office, and they'd probably, if you put a couple of drinks in them, tell you the same thing. But it survives because it's publicly funded.
It's all self-sustaining. The post office they do not
well,
take.
Obviously, they're not making any money
They're
because
not making any money.
Then they need to because they need to raise rates.
Everything they charge, they fund the department with.
In the real world, the post office, when faced with competition from FedEx, if you have a business and you were faced with competition from something like FedEx or UPS or any other, whatever business you're in, and you're faced with stiff competition, wouldn't your first reaction be, I'm going to cut costs and I'm going to increase service?
Right.
The post office did just the opposite.
Yeah.
They cut service and increased costs.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have
another proposal on the table to boost the price of a first-class stamp.
You think they're going to buy drones with you?
From 50 cents
to 55.
To 55, which is the largest increase, I think, in 20 years? Since 91, actually. Longer than that. The largest increase since 91.
You're rolling your eyes, kid.
Well, it's just stupid. I mean, it's like taxi companies. Well, Uber's killing our business. Maybe if you didn't have rolling death traps where it just feels like your car's about to explode, I might use your service more than Uber. But, you know, you're blaming someone else for your shortcomings.
The difference being that you and I are going to pay for their shortcomings over and over and over again.
Yeah.
841, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. When we get back, we got a text from someone a little while ago about an old friend of ours. How's she doing? We'll bring you up to date.
Oh, boy.
You know what I mean.
I don't know if I do.
Getting sober.
Oh, yeah.
Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast, a nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant, high 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Keel app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Okay, so you got, because not everybody knows this story.
No.
My first day on the radio was August 15th as a real DJ. Was August 15th of 1972. I was 20 years old. So 72, 82, 92, 02, 12. 2 from 8 is 6, so 46 years plus I've been on the radio, okay? The point I'm making is, in those 46 plus years, that was literally the worst 4 to 5 minutes of my career.
It was dreadful.
I've had bad moments. I told you the story about forgetting to turn off the transmitter and doing commercials over the air, swearing,
cursing,
and I thought I was going to get fired.
Right.
This was worse than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't know the story, stand by. We got a text earlier this morning.
Yeah, it says, so I don't know if you watch The Walking Dead or not, but it just started back up again. Brett Butler,
Comedian Brett Butler,
is actually in it as an old, ugly lady, a very minor role.
She had a career back in, what was it, right around 2000, maybe late 90s. The show was Grace Under Fire, pretty big hit TV series.
Why did I think about RJW when I saw that?
And Erin.
That's what she gets for being rude to him.
Just on a little side note here, Tammy Rose is not a minor character in the story if you read the comic books.
That's her character?
Yes. And her fate will make you very happy. I'll just leave it at that.
She's gonna die a brutal death! Kill Brett Butler!
Settle down, settle down. You sound like a Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Kill her!
Okay. So
Chop her up into little pieces.
When the Funny Bone was open, X number of years ago, they had some pretty big names.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, Ron White. Remember, you got to go ride in Ron White's pickup truck.
I rode in Ron's pickup.
On the air, it was awesome. So at one point, Brett Butler was booked to play the Funny Bone. She was here a couple of times. This was the first time. And it was still, I'm believing, downtown in the what is now the Red River District.
Yes.
And they were doing some pretty good biz. Now, she had sort of fallen... She was off the scene, under the radar for a couple of... She had the Grace Under Fire TV show, and that had sort of unraveled. She had some substance abuse problems and had sort of... She'd
gone to rehab.
Thank you very much. So she was going to be... She had a reputation for being a little difficult.
Surly, yeah.
Fair. So we were on KVKI at the time, and Chris and Dee Dee were on 94.5. And they were going, the Funny Bone folks were going to bring her in to do promotional segments for her show at the
Thought
Funny
it'd be
Bone.
fun, a great comedian.
Well, we were all, the four of us, you and me, Chris and Dee Dee, a little trepidatious given her history of irregular behavior.
But I was a huge fan of Grace Under Fire.
So
huge.
she comes in, she goes to Chris and Dee Dee on 94.5 first. And we can hear from next door.
They're yucking it up.
They were laughing. They were. It sounded like a freaking party next
was
door.
good.
And you and I took a deep breath. Whew, maybe this is going to be okay.
She's on her good face, yeah.
So she comes out of the 94.5 studio down the hall to KVKI where we were. And she walked in, and there was this sneer, this snarl, this look on her, remember? And her manager, who was with her, is smiling. Now, how am I going to describe this on the radio? He is smiling at us, takes his hand from his forehead down to his chin, and as he crosses his face with his hand, goes from a smile to a frown.
Right.
Like, sorry, she's a little schizo.
We've lost her, yeah.
She sits down in the chair, slumps over. We introduce ourselves. She barely looks up and barely says a word.
And I'm sitting next to her. She's 3 inches from me.
And she is slumped over like just not a note, not a sound.
No.
Now, we had prepped for the interview a bit. I had looked on her website. And it said Brett has it sort of soft pedaled her troubles.
Sure.
And it said Brett has spent the last couple of years focusing on her personal life and writing new material.
And I saw in her personal life she was dating this hot young guy.
Come into that.
Yeah.
So we go on the air, and Brett Butler at the Funny Bone, nap, 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 nap. Meanwhile, she is sitting slumped over with a sneer on her face.
Doesn't even speak.
And I said, throwing her a softball. So, right off the website. So, what you been up to the last couple of years? This is literally, I will repeat the question, and I will give you the exact time frame.
I'll ask you the question. You ready?
Let me ask myself,
Okay.
since it was me, and I will respond as Brett Butler
All right.
in the same time frame. So, welcome to Shreveport, blah, blah, blah. What you been up to the last couple of years? Getting sober.
That's it.
Erin, having seen
Hot guy.
that it was People or Us magazine.
Yeah, I don't know where.
that she was dating somebody. She was maybe in her 40s at the time. She was dating a guy who was in his late 20s and like a model or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Erin says, so I see in one of the magazines you are once again, we will recreate the time frame. Erin says, I see in one of the magazines that you've got a new boyfriend. I was looking at a photo. That is one good-looking man. What kind of first question is that?
It was dreadful.
Now, you and I, at that point, had been on the radio together maybe 16 or 17 years.
We want done. We want out.
We'd been in a couple of tight spots.
We want out.
We had never, ever, ever, where I look at her and she goes, oh, Christ. And I look at her, she looks at me and goes, what are we going to do? Because we had said, we'll do 3 or 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it went down.
Oh, it never got better.
Downhill.
No.
We finished that segment. Thanked her for coming
Peace
in.
out.
I was physically nauseous.
Oh,
and literally to this day,
I have asked because she's made a return visit to town for something, and I said I'm going to book her. I'm going to get her to come in. It's going to be a new deal. It'll be. Robert said no. I'm going to Cracker Barrel.
I'll be at Cracker Barrel.
I'm out of here.
In fact, just talking about it makes me incapable of having anything at Cracker Barrel for 48 hours.
Sober.
849, 101.7 FM. Now she's on.
Killer.
Walking.
Fast.
Here's your KEEL through the heart. KeelAccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of sunny, cooler today, near 70, 50, 58 at KEEL.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
Yesterday, President Trump signed 2 bills into law designed to lower how much you pay at pharmacies. The laws will eliminate the so-called gag clauses that prevented pharmacists from telling their patients they could save money by paying cash for their prescriptions instead of using insurance.
Look, when you give patients the right to know about ways to pay the lowest price, you empower consumers. You increase economic freedom. There's less paperwork and red tape. Everyone pays the same price, and everyone knows what that price is ahead of time, with no special interest mucking up the process.
That's how the free market's supposed to work. Frankly, that's how America is supposed to work.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
What you giggling at? What?
You and Matt, y'all are. It's like a father-son or grandfather-son.
Wow.
Grandfather's more accurate.
Is it?
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Want a race? Got $100.
Want a fist fight? I got boxing gloves.
Rock'em, sock'em. No, soccer boppers in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, it's 8:55. You know, my dad never did this, but I know dads that did when I was a kid growing up, is that if you got in a fight with your brother, that he would get the not my dad because we didn't have boxing gloves, but he would get the boxing gloves or the soccer boppers. If you don't know what soccer boppers were, they were great big like beach balls that you would blow up, but they had places for they were basically inflatable boxing gloves.
Yeah.
And so you could like box in your backyard, which is basically in retrospect sort of like jarts.
Yeah.
You know, where it's going to be backyard darts. It's going to be big things with points.
Oh my gosh.
That kids can play with and impale themselves through the foot.
Right.
But there were Danny Fletcher lived across the street, and he and his brother would get in fights all the time, as brothers oft do.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad would get I'll get the boxing gloves. He would put boxing gloves on them and make them box in the front yard.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine?
My kind of dad.
A father with a paternalistic a theory of parenting in this day and age. You'd end up in jail.
Oh, absolutely.
You'd end up in jail.
Kids would be taken away from you.
Only if you film it and put it on YouTube.
8:56. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando.
It used to be that if you wanted the cheapest airfare online, you'd shop the weekend and buy your ticket on that magical day of the week, Tuesday. That's not the case anymore. Kim Commando with your Thursday Consumer Tech Update. Get extended interviews on tech topics with the free Commando podcasts, available on Apple Podcasts and Google Play. With about a month and a half left until Thanksgiving, better get moving if you're buying airfare. Ticket prices usually go up when there is only 6 weeks before your departure date. Here are 3 ways to make sure you score the lowest fare. First, follow the hashtag airfare on Twitter to see deals from major airlines and sites. If you want to fly a specific airline, follow them too. Next, get airfare alerts. At Google Flights, enter your destination and turn on track prices. You'll get email when the price is going up. Finally, be a frequent flyer, even if this is your first flight. Airlines send out specials to folks in their loyalty programs. I'm Kim Commando. Here's some exciting news. As a company, SimpliSafe is now valued at $1 billion. Not only that, more than 2 million homes are now protected with an incredible SimpliSafe system. SimpliSafe is comprehensive protection for your home with round-the-clock professional monitoring that will bring the police anytime there's even the slightest hint of a problem. And SimpliSafe is built for the unexpected. It's loaded with safeguards that keep your system working even during the power and Wi-Fi outages. Even if a burglar smashes your keypad, the police will still be on their way. And the system is so easy to use. It's incredibly intuitive. It takes only minutes to set up in your home. Order your SimpliSafe system now. As a listener of the Kim Commando Show, you get free shipping and free returns. Visit simplysafekim.com. simplysafekim.com to protect your home with SimpliSafe today. That's simplysafekim.com.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. One more look at traffic. Fox News just a couple of seconds away, by the way. Moon Griffon just after 9. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather forecast. A nice sunny day today. We'll have a high of 75 degrees. Then tonight will be clear. We'll have a low of 52. Remaining sunny and pleasant. High 72 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.